Hi guys, welcome to Counterpoints. My name is Connor, and today we're going to be breaking down the phenomenal fan animation, The Awakening. There's so much love obviously poured into the product, from the models to the dialogue to the voice acting and story beats. And so while the animation might not be as fluid as Astartes or M2 animations, it is still a beautiful, fun, violent, and great outing into the 40k universe. If you're new to this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out our animation breakdowns in our real-life Bolter video. As a brief setup, Dark Angels are called to Hive World Red Omega 1 in the Nuda system on the edge of the Ultima Segmentum by a Mechanicus Archmagos. Their mission is to infiltrate an awakening Necron tomb world and deliver a nuclear warhead to its heart. This is in the vain but small hope of sabotaging, delaying, or stopping a Necron dynasty awakening. A small team of veterans and a tech marine insert via Thunderhawk to make their way into the vast caverns and past the deadly threats of the Necron resting place. This episode is brought to you by Hawkins & Company. Everything today is soulless and mass-produced, but not the wallets from Hawkins & Company. They're hand-stitched in the United States from some of the finest locally produced leather and come in a variety of styles and configurations. I carry the bifold wallet daily, but they also have trucker and biker-style wallets available. Use code COUNTERPOINTS at checkout and get 15% off your order. Get a wallet that's manly, rugged, and refined, all at the same time, today.
I think I need a bigger bolter.
I am picking up strange signals.
Where?
Everywhere. They keep appearing and disappearing all around us. It makes no sense. Should I focus on them?
No. Keep following the path to the Nexus. Stay vigilant, my brothers. The enemy is watching. Let them come. Contact!
More coming. Over there.
Sector Beta 10.
Alpha 4.
For the Lion, brothers! Xenos. Is it all of them?
No. The signals are fading. They are retreating.
Very well. We push forward. Move.
I like that shield. Huh?
What was that?
A bug. Just one. Wait! Another! Run!
What?
There are always more. Move, quickly! Running from a few bugs! Are you out of your mind? We will crush them! This is a fight we can't win. It's too late.
By the Emperor.
Move! Activating mobile defense platform. The node is here. This is a trap.
Apparently. But it may also be our salvation.
If we were to appeal to archetypes, then Space Marines are knights, and there are no chapters more knightly than the Dark Angels. Hailing from the temperate death world of Caliban, the chapter is descended from a knightly fraternity known as the Order. The Order was headed by Lionel Johnson, an immortal warrior named Luther, who hunted monstrous beasts and brought order and civilization to the planet. Once found by the Emperor and recruited into the Great Crusade, the Dark Angels carried on the martial legacy of the Order, hunting the many beasts of the galaxy on behalf of the Imperium. After the Horus Heresy, the chapter carries a dark secret related to their now destroyed planet, their heritage, and a secret mission that takes priority over all Imperial affairs. The secretive and self-serious reputation of the Dark Angels is commonly remarked upon, but it is revealed in books that their humor is reserved for their brothers. One brother is entranced by a captured Xenos from the Astartes animation, but he is quickly shepherded back to the group by the Tech Marine. The jest, "I need a bigger bolter," prompts a battle with canoptic constructs, which brings us to the Necrons. Considering how much we've talked about them and how much I've repeated their origins, I think I'm going to create a second channel where people can find quick breakdowns of the factions and campaigns so we don't have to reference them repeatedly. But that being said, the Necron tier were one of the most ancient races in the galaxy, older even than the Eldari. They traded in cancerous and short-lived mortal forms for immortal metal and dreams of an infinite empire. In the early years of their existence, they hunted and killed the Old Ones, fought their creations the Eldari and Krork, and even enslaved their own gods, the Catan. This war was long and hard fought, and so instead of battling the Eldari for control of the stars, the Necrons instead chose to sleep, waiting for when the galaxy was ripe for conquest. They wake now to find their ancient enemies weakened and devolved, and a fledgling race stealing their birthright. Canoptic constructs are non-sentient but complex insectoid machines that aid the Necrons in sleep and battle. Scarabs are the most numerous and varied of the constructs, and can be large enough to rip a guardsman's face off, or small enough to enter their bloodstream. Scarabs have razor-sharp claws and a particle beam to rip apart matter they can then rebuild into the designs of their lords. Mind shackle scarabs can control the minds of organic beings, allowing Necrons to spy on lesser creatures or turn friends into foes or unwilling slaves. Wraiths stalk frozen tomb worlds, ready to rip apart enemies and report decay and damage back to spiders. Spiders are complex constructs that act as a command nexus, directing wraiths and scarabs to repair and attack tasks. There are other variants of canoptic constructs such as the Doomstalker, Tomb Sentinel, Scolopendra, and Acanthrocytes, who are all their own version of lethal cybernetic insectoid horror. The superhuman reflexes of the Marines, their armor, and their weapons allow the warriors to beat back the Horde with bolter and blade, but unfortunately all this does is wake up the system. Breaking into a Necron tomb world and beating canoptic constructs is like breaking into a military base and then beating up the janitor. You're just going to wake up the troops. In this case, the troops are thousands of buzzing scarabs. The scarabs force the Marines to flee deeper into the tomb world, but luckily for them, they are able to breach the Nexus before being consumed. Here's where things get a little interesting. The Tech Marine still believes most of the system sleeps and that the scarabs in door close were automatic security responses. However, when he breaches the computer to reopen the doors, he uncovers a treasure trove of information. Weather scans, void scans, and warp anomalies are meticulously recorded going back eons. The captain, over the Tech Marine's objections, heretically orders the Marine to download the data for the past 10,000 years before they activate the nuclear weapon and make a run for it. The Tech Marine's intrusion into the Necron digital infrastructure triggers the Tomb Awakening, causing hundreds if not thousands of Necron warriors to rise. It is now a battle to defend the Tech Marine as he finishes his work before the Marines are overrun.
This was not my order, Gloriel.
It's not me. The system is reacting to my presence, surrounding me. The pressure, Captain! They are awakening. face off, brother! No! Fight harder!
Can you still fight?
Only in death does duty end! Download complete.
Move out!
Activating 2 plus invulnerable save field.
Strike team to Thunderhawk. Be ready. We're en route. Send a message to the Lion Squad. Primary objective achieved. I repeat, primary objective achieved.
Necron warriors rise to take back the Nexus. Fortunately for the Dark Angels, the warriors are mummified thralls with only enough sentience for combat protocols. The Dark Angels rain bolters and grenades into the Horde, but it's not enough. The Marines juke and absorb several Gauss Flare shots, and in a novel concept for an Astartes, actually take cover. As the battle comes into close quarters, the Marines turn into transhuman blenders, ripping the Necrons apart, but the Necrons successfully kill one brother and gut stab and amputate another. For weapons used in this battle, Gauss Flayers are the primary Necron weapon and can break down their targets at the molecular level. Necron hyperphase blades shimmer across multiple realities, making a mockery of most armor. Bolters are 75 caliber rifles with rocket-assisted projectiles that have a variety of specialty purposes, but most are armor-piercing, delayed explosive rounds. The Space Marine combat knife has no energy field, but is sharpened to a monomolecular edge and is standard issue to Space Marines regardless of rank or station. The Power Sword projects an energy field along its length that allows it to cleave through most targets, while the Thunderhammer can deliver the energy to an individual target or project it into many. The Servitor protects the nuclear warhead with twin heavy stubbers, and it needs to be remarked that the Tech Marine actually says, "Activate the 2+ invulnerable save field," a nod to the tabletop game. Using a d6 dice, a 2+ is what you would have to roll to beat incoming attacks. Once the data is downloaded, the Marines flee with the captain, covering their retreat with his combi bolter, a twin-barreled variant. The Tech Marine uses his plasma pistol to collapse the path behind them. A plasma pistol uses a miniaturized fusion reactor to cook ionized gas to a plasma state, which is contained by a powerful magnetic field. Unleashed, the plasma is fired in a superheated liquid gas bolt hot enough to cook all but the strongest of armor. The Marines flee, but this does not mean the battle is over.
Brother, can you hear me?
He needs an apothecary. No! I need a weapon. It's just a flesh wound. I can try cauterizing your wounds. Just help me stand up already.
Brothers, get back to the Thunderhawk, now! I will hold them.
An obelisk blocks the Marine's path, and a trio of Scorpec destroyers drop in for a duel. Where some Necrons seek to return to flesh, and others dream of ascending to being energy gods like the Catan, destroyers have channeled their undead nature into hatred of all organic life. They modify their bodies with grav sleds, insectoid legs, and sensors, and weapons to better incarnate death. The lead Scorpec makes a bloody statement by slaughtering 2 Marines before the duels even begin. The captain goes blow for blow with the destroyer, but ultimately has to rely on his Iron Halo energy field to gain the upper hand, a risky maneuver. The Tech Marine catches the Hyperphase blades with his servo arms and overcooks his plasma pistol into his opponent's face. Already missing a hand, the veteran is able to trade blows with the Scorpec destroyer and ultimately rips off the destroyer's head, but receives a gut wound in return. He is able to survive this wound thanks to the advanced physiology of the Astartes. A Necron Overlord arrives, puzzled by the intruders. Necron Overlords are the rulers of their dynasty and are incredibly powerful beings with tens of thousands of warriors at their command. The Overlord orders the Tech Marine recovered and the other Marines killed. Captain Remiel prepares to make a last stand so that his brothers may escape.
I am the Knight of Caliban. I am the wrath of the Emperor himself.
And you shall know no fear, Remiel.
How is this possible?
The brother librarian felt an urgent need to help you, Captain Remiel. Do you still have the data? I do. On my second cogitator. It seems it is indeed very important. It is invaluable. To the Imperium? Yes, to the Imperium. Get your team men back to the Thunderhawk. We will cover your move. Brothers of Deathwing, let's show our enemies the meaning of the fury of the Fist!
Initiate the countdown.
4, 3, 2, 1. Success! Energy readings are changing.
Get me the Lion Claw.
Remiel.
Brother Librarian, thank you for your help.
Of course. You have obtained something very important, Remiel.
I hope so. Our brothers fell for it.
Our brothers fell for our redemption, and their glorious sacrifice will be remembered. I will personally place their names in our eternal halls.
Please, summon the inner circle, brother. This is another step in our path.
It really is, Remiel. Big step. Times are coming that will shake the Imperium and the galaxy itself. When we regain our honor and glory as the First Legion, I can feel it.
In that case, we must be prepared. Wait for my arrival at the Claw. But for now, I have unfinished business here.
Is that so? You never forget, brother.
Yes, and I never forgive. The fallen must repent, and my brothers will be avenged.
Just as Captain Remiel prepares his last stand, Deathwing Terminators teleport in. 2 assault cannons, a twin autocannon, and a Cyclone missile launcher ringing into the Xenos, cutting down their ranks. Dark Angels chapter of Marines descend from the Dark Angels Legion. When Primarch Lionel Johnson was unified with his sons, he took cultural aspects from the Order and the Legion and unified them into traditions known as the Inner Circle and Hexagrammaton. The Inner Circle was both a battle formation and a philosophy of trust. In battle, warriors would face outward in a defensive circle. The outer circle would strike out at the enemy, while the inner circle would shore up any gaps. If a brother fell, then the circle got tighter and tighter. While the Dark Angels might ultimately be defeated, they would kill many times their number before the end of the battle. This defensive formation only works if brothers trust the men to their left, right, and rear, and so it solidified both a martial and spiritual loyalty within the ranks. The Knights of the Order would walk in marked concentric circles during meditation, a tradition that carried into the Dark Angels. The inner circle is also a metaphor for who is trusted within the chapter. The darkest secrets of the chapter are rooted in their homeworld of Caliban. Caliban was a temperate death world filled with dark forests and even darker monsters. At the heart of Caliban was a warp tear that would take predators of the planet and turn them into chimeric monsters of legend. These monsters would terrorize the peasant folk of the planet until killed. It was the mission of Knights of the Order to don an early design of power armor, ride destrier horses into the forest, and take down these monsters with chainsword and bolt revolver. Luther was a great warrior and leader, and were it not for the lion, he would have been the man of his age. He was a great knight with many victories, but he was terrified when he found a small boy alone in the forest. What kind of dark magic kept a boy alive in a dark forest filled with beasts? Luther almost cut down the boy with his bolt pistol, but stayed his hand and adopted him. Lionel Johnson soon eclipsed his adoptive father, growing to be larger, stronger, faster, and smarter than any other human on the planet. He soon killed the greatest beasts, and took the position of the leader of the Order. Luther was his closest mentor, friend, and confidant, but the Lion was always a man apart. The Lion was a man of few words who believed that you should only reveal what is necessary when necessary. Volunteering information invites enemies to capitalize on your weaknesses, while allowing your rivals to spew their motivations, rationalizations, and plans allows you to capitalize on theirs. This tendency for secrecy and minimalism is infused into the character of the Legion and its descendants. While neither would admit it, the Lion supplanting Luther's position in the Order was a point of friction in their relationship. The Lion dreamed of sailing the stars and lamented that he was confined to only one planet to civilize and only so many monsters to kill. This was the way of things until Lionel Johnson swore to kill all monsters and forever rid the planet of the threat. The Imperium and Dark Angels arrived and helped complete this task, but this disrupted the order of the planet. The warp energy at Caliban's heart would lash out to create the monsters, but this was like a pipe letting off pressure. The Imperium chopped down the forest for timber and blasted apart mountains for industry, and so the warp tear was cut off from its outlet and was pressurized for an explosion. Luther and the Lion had a falling out during the early stages of the Crusade. Luther saw a weapon meant to kill the Lion and hesitated to stop the attack. The Lion banished Luther and a large contingent of Dark Angels back to Caliban under the veneer of training up the next generation of warriors. Luther and his closest confidants found the planet in disarray. The forests were cut, the mountains were stripped, and the people of Caliban toiled under uncaring imperial overlords. Zahariel, an esteemed warrior in Psyker, uncovered a chaos plot to rip open the warp tear at the planet's core. The Watchers of the Forest, fickle allies of the Order and powerful warp beings, warned Zahariel that the path they were on would destroy Caliban. Zahariel, Luther, and a detachment of Dark Angels were able to stop the plot, but now they were at a horrible impasse. If the Dark Angels stayed silent, the people of Caliban would continue to suffer under the yoke of the Imperium. If they reported the warp tear, then the planet would be destroyed, most of its population purged, and the Dark Angels shamed. They had all taken vows to the Primarch and the Emperor, but they had all taken oaths to Caliban and her people first. When news of the Horus Heresy reached Caliban, Luther declared the planet independent and seized power for the Legion. This is the great secret of the Dark Angels. Their homeworld went renegade. When the Primarch returned, his own sons fired upon him. In the Primarch's wrath, he fell on the planet and slaughtered his sons and former brothers in arms. The Primarch even battled his own adoptive father, who was seduced by chaos, before the bombardment and horrible warp storms cracked open the planet. Lionel Johnson was taken by the Watchers and was held in stasis for 10 millennia in a shard of the planet known as the Rock. The Rock was transformed into the Dark Angels' fortress and base of operations. Many of the traitors were sucked into the warp and scattered through time and space. Some are renegades, true believers who followed Luther because they believed in him. These Dark Angels were loyal to Caliban and wished to defend it against all enemies, whether that was Xenos, Chaos, or the Imperium. Others are traitors, truly fallen to the Dark Gods, pledging their service for survival and gifts of the warp. The Dark Angels consider themselves unforgiven, descendants of a traitor legion who turned their backs on the Imperium at a time of crisis. In order to regain their honor, the unforgiven hunt the fallen, those renegade and traitor Dark Angels who remain uncaptured or killed. For 10,000 years, the Dark Angels have served the Imperium, but they will abandon missions, allies, and positions if there is even a chance of capturing or killing a fallen angel. The Hexagrammaton was also called the Six Wings, and organized the Legion into 6 specializations. The Death Wing were the most trusted brothers of the Legion, who served as an elite strike force, often wearing Terminator armor. The Raven Wing focused on mobility and lightning warfare, often riding into battle on bikes or grav skimmers. The Dread Wing focused on absolute annihilation using radiation, phosphex, and vortex weapons. The Fire Wing were assassins and duelists who applied the exact amount of heat to the exact enemy position to turn battles. The Iron Wing were the mechanized division responsible for maintaining and deploying the Legion's many vehicles and dreadnoughts. The Storm Wing were the line infantry, fortified with veteran mentors who would bring out the best in their charges. 10,000 years later, and 4 of the wings have been absorbed back into the chapter, leaving only the Death Wing and Raven Wing intact. The Dark Angel's secretive nature allowed the chapter to claim much of the best equipment for itself when the Legion was broken up by order of the Codex. This means that along with disproportionate access to vehicles and plasma weapons, the Dark Angel's first company can deploy at strength with all brothers in Terminator armor. This is a technological edge matched by no other chapter. The Deathwing Terminators are able to cover the retreat of the Marines, allowing the Dark Angels to capture this Xenos data. The Marines flee the tomb just in time for the nuclear explosion to rip apart the Nexus. It is revealed that the data was not recovered to aid the Imperium, but instead to help the Inner Circle hunt fallen angels. Captain Remiel feels some level of guilt for allowing his brothers to fall in battle for a lie, but promises to redeem himself through blood and valor. If you want to support the channel for free, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for new videos, and comment for the comment gods. Your viewership alone helps me in the algorithm and is appreciated. If you want to take your support a bit further, please become a YouTube member or join us on patreon.com/counterpoints. Check out the other videos on the channel, support our sponsors, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until the end.